How's it going? And welcome to Formar Ranch. Now today I have something a little different for you. It's not going to be a firearm or optic review. It's actually going to be talking about a little flashlight, a very tiny one. In fact, this is the Tini2 by NITECORE, and although it looks more or less just kind of like a toy to throw on your key ring, it is very functional. In fact, it can output over 500 lumens of powerful bright white light and can do several other incredibly useful features. So let's go ahead and show you what all this can do, and of course I'll take it out at night, let you see how it does in real world applications. Here we go guys, the NITECORE Tini2. And just for size reference, here is a standard quarter. So this guy is roughly the width, almost exactly spot on with a regular quarter. And to give you an idea on the length, here's a AA battery. And including the little keychain hardware, it's pretty much exactly the length of a standard AA battery. And really, if you don't count that, then it is shorter. And ironically, the AA battery is actually heavier than this is. So if you're wondering how much weight it'll add to a keychain, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's pretty negligible. You're probably not gonna notice it there. And it is a nice aluminum housing, so as far as it being bounced around on a keychain and beat up, I think it's gonna be good to go there as well. But let's go ahead and give you a quick walk around. So not much going on the underside. Again, the rear has the keychain mounting point, and included is a little keychain. So you do get hardware, so you can throw it on a quick attach keychain ring, so you can take it on and off a keychain if you want to, or clip it to a belt loop, whatever you want to do, you can. The front has dual LEDs, and the only other feature to point out is a charging port on the side, which if you open up is your standard USB Type-C. So it's keeping up with the times. This is kind of the standard charging port on most new electronics. So kind of nice that they use something standard and universal. Now going through the setup of this light, the bottom button is the power button. You'll see that it actually has an OLED indicator, and we have a timer, 7 hours and 36 minutes now, just flashed, for that little 1 lumen output out of those dual LEDs. Now the top button will toggle you through the different brightness settings. So you can see we went to 65 lumens, and we have a runtime now of 2 hours and 24 minutes, 23, 200 lumens, again updating the runtime as we toggle through, and back to 1 lumen. Now this little guy is capable of 500 lumens. By holding down that mode button, it gets absolutely insanely bright. And again, the runtime is updated real time. So I could hold this turbo mode for 500 lumen output for now, 13 more minutes just flashed there. And after doing so, once you cycle through the different outputs, it'll give you real-time updates. So the little OLED display continuously updates your runtime. So pretty nifty, pretty user-friendly, not much to it, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and take it outside and show you just how stupid bright this little guy is. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and show you some nighttime sample footage, and bear with me, the camera's probably going to be focus hunting while it is dark out. For those technology and camera buffs, I'll let you know the camera is at ISO 2000 and f1.8, and that's basically giving you a view of what it looks like through my eye. So that's the reason it is set to that. I'm not going to put it on an auto setting, so you get a real idea of how this light is going to look. So starting with 1 lumen, it illuminates my lawn immediately in front of me. You can kind of use it to make out some details on my porch. This fence is 10 feet from me, so not quite giving the camera enough light, and it doesn't really point out a whole lot to my eye either. And then 20 feet from me illuminates the fence somewhat, but anything further than that, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it, obviously. Now kicking it to the 15 lumens, there is again that fence at 20 feet, enough light for the camera to focus now. I guess I should start with 10 feet. So my gate is clearly visible. My porch, which is again about 20 feet from me, it is a 50mm lens, so kind of a tight focal plane, because it's again what it looks like to my eye. So illuminates my fence. All right, going ahead and bumping it up now to 65 lumens. So there again, fence at 20 feet. And everything is lighting up pretty nice now, so you can kind of tell what you were originally looking at. Again, porch, roughly 20 feet. I'd say the shed is about 60 feet for me right now, and that back fence is about 75 feet for me. So kicking it up now to 200 lumens, lighting that shed up pretty nice. My entire back fence line as well. Fence is completely lit up at 20 feet as to be expected. 10 feet is incredibly bright at 200 lumens, and my porch again pretty well lit up. So now going to the turbo mode, we'll start shortest, kind of work our way up. Don't want to spoil it too much. So there's 500 lumens, incredibly bright. I mean, the camera is saying it is overexposed now. 20 feet. Porch again at 20 feet. There's the shed at roughly 65, and then fence line at roughly 75 feet. So completely illuminated. Honestly, pretty darn impressive, being that it is just a tiny, tiny little keychain light. I mean, this thing is absolutely insanely bright. You can see all the dust and particles in the air. It does kind of spotlight. There's the trees just totally lit up. I mean, just absolutely lit up from such a small light. So the fact that this can be kept on your keychain is, I mean, incredibly impressive and handy, honestly. It's definitely going to stay on my keychain. That is for sure. All right, guys, so hopefully this was fairly useful. I definitely am going to be carrying this thing around on my key ring if Katie doesn't steal it for hers, because she saw it and was pretty impressed with how bright it was. And she said it'd be pretty useful for her, especially when she walks alone to her car at night. So very functional. This would be a great little gift to give somebody if, you want to get them something that's going to be functional and useful without really breaking the bank. So for around $40, this can be had for you or for loved ones. A very useful and multifunctional tool. So other than that, I really want to thank you for taking the time to stop by the 4Mar Ranch YouTube channel. And as always, guys, have a good one.